Hey friends, Acquisitive Marco here, and we are back with Chapter 8 of Analogue, A Hate Story. We just finished her last diary, and she, in fact, did murder everybody by turning off the life support. Still don't know how she turned into AI, but I feel like she's about to tell us that right now. Well, so... there you are then. Now you know. It's true. I did do what she said I did. I'm not going to lie. I really wish you'd never met her. I wish she'd never said anything to you. I just thought it was so nice the way things were with us before. Things started out so well. I got to be cheery for the first time in my life since I was a child. Talking about actual romantic things together. Having fun with cosplay. And just, you know, having someone there to talk to. Someone who wasn't interested in shutting me up. But now, well... please, you've read my diary. You have to know it's not... I didn't... You have to understand, right? Even if you think what I did was wrong... Look, I've never really been dishonest with you. Fine, I lied about being an AI, but I told you the truth. I could have deceived you, but didn't. Please, you still trust me, right? I'd never really lie to you, not seriously. You don't have to think what I did was acceptable, but please tell me you trust me. Oh god, okay, well... I'm sure everyone is on her side, like, oh, she was treated poorly. I don't trust you. I don't, but Mute told me to gain your trust. So, by saying I trust you, you'll trust me. You do? Really? Oh, my word. I mean, of course. I'm so sorry. I should have had faith in you. I really should have. I'm really bad at this. No, I don't trust you. It's fine. Your gut is telling you the truth. But thank you. Thank you so much. I can't believe I even doubted you for a second. Look, that means a lot to me. It means so much. I mean, I'm sure what I did wasn't right, I know. I'm sure you don't think it was. I just want you to understand, alright? You love me! Oh my god! I saw that! For someone that I L-O and then it cut off to switch to this part here. I am totally playing this chick right now. I am toying with her emotions, gaining her trust. I'm such a douchebag. I'm such a douchebag. Okay. For someone as good as me, for someone as good to me as you've been, I want you to at least please understand. Okay. You don't have to forgive me, just hear me out. Of course, I will hear anything you have to tell me. Thank you so much. You're a really good person. Much better than me. Thank you. Then, very well. Excuse me. It's probably just better if I show you. There's a data block that contains all the logs that matter, but my family encrypted it because, well, it should be obvious why after you read it. You need to drop to the terminal and type decrypt block 7. Let me know once you've done that and I'll show you. Yay, more terminal! Only I'm not gonna be stupid this time. I'm just playing dress up with her. Okay, so what was it? Okay. go. I know my typing's loud. I have the loudest keyboard and mouse combo in the world. Very well. These are really hard for me to read. I haven't seen mine since I wrote them, and I haven't seen my family's, well, ever. Well, I think I found... Here, I've added some. Just please read them. If you want to know the whole story, those entries will explain. Oh, the music's gone. I think you can hear the hum of my computer. I have a loud computer, too. The nightmarish bride, mother, the new anxiety. So this is all from Block 7. Okay. Hyo Min-jung. I'm trying. It seems that in the year I've spent visiting my parents, everything has gone to hell in my husband's family without his knowing. Clearly I never should have left. He has an idea, but he doesn't understand just how bad things have gotten. When I left, it all seemed out of control. The pale bride would be of the right age to be married to the emperor soon enough, and we would be able to use that connection to bring favor to the family. A good plan, except it turns out the pale bride is not even close to ready for marriage. Age has nothing to do with it, it's the maturity that she lacks. When she first woke up, right before I left, she seemed a little confused, but that was hardly unexpected. She had a whole new family to get accustomed to, and it seemed obvious enough that anyone born so far in the past would have some difficulty adjusting to modern life. But this is far beyond that. There was something simply wrong with that child. Oh, my throat, I need some water or something. When I got back, the first thing Young-suk's wife did was tell me all about how sorry she was for not being able to control the child. I rolled my eyes. As if a grown woman couldn't handle someone of her age. How are you going to raise my grandson like that? I asked. She was quiet, and let me see the pale bride for myself. The first time I saw Young-suk try to get her to do something as simple as sort out his laundry, she wasn't just disobedient, she was openly defiant. When I stepped in to admonish her, it had absolutely no effect. All she did was argue back at me. I tried every approach I could think of, appealing to filiality, explaining how important a virtue obedience was, even trying to appeal to sentimentality. Everything. She just kept saying the same thing, that it wasn't fair to make her do it. Here's the obvious concern, and it's what I said to her. Are you going to tell your husband he's not being fair when he wants something from you? I thought that would put some sense in her, but no, she just answered yes. There's no way this unruly child could possibly be marriageable. Marriageable? Okay. I wasn't 100% aware that was a word, marriageable, but okay. It just looks weird. Not like this. She'd been sent back within a day. And with good reason. What man could possibly want a nightmare like her in his life? True. I guess. These are still, like, in order, right? Yee. Yes, they are. Okay. How many blocks are there? Okay, her diary. Dear diary. The good news is, health-wise, I seem to be doing much better this month. I'm sure this isn't a permanent thing, it's happened before. I can't really remember how the doctor from the past explained it anymore, but he said it was pretty normal and not something to get my hopes up about. Still, some days this month I actually had enough energy to want to move around. Not that I could move around, of course. I can't leave the house. A good girl shouldn't, is what everyone keeps saying. But I have the energy to, at least, and that's something. The big news is that the woman who's supposed to be my adopted mother came back. I didn't really see her much before I left. I might as well have been meeting a new person. I wish I could say I had high hopes for her. That I had thought that maybe she'd be fine. That'd be a lie, though. I knew she'd be as bad as the rest of them the moment I saw her. And she was, of course she was. She's even worse than sister-in-law. She gives these awful lectures. I can't even describe them. They're that horrible. She's that horrible. That's all we have on the mother. The new anxiety. And this is the sister-in-law. Talking to mother-in-law. Dearest mother. Oh yeah, dearest mother. My mother-in-law has relieved me of any responsibility for looking after the pale bride. As a matter of pride, I feel bad that a simple child is too much for me to handle. But I'm certainly glad she's not my problem anymore. Now I can put my undivided attention back to where it belongs, under my husband and his ambitions. Tell me, though, Mother, because I know we didn't always get along that well. I was never that bad, was I? Sure, we were both happy when I moved out. Well, perhaps I wasn't happy right away. I was more scared. But I'm sure you were relieved to have some space. But you have never given up on me, right? I was never that bad, was I? Deep down, I worry. My husband seems content to take his time to have children, and which is a decision I can certainly live with. But what about when we do? What if we have a daughter? Will I fail with her too? I have been telling myself that it's not me, it's her. She's a particularly unruly child, and it's not ordinarily that bad. It's not, right? Please tell me I have nothing to worry about. Please? Huh, bringing doubt into herself. I don't like her. I don't like her at all. Hyo Mingjun. I don't remember who that is. Smith family tree. I don't know if it's a boy name or a girl name. Seems like a boy name. But then again, I could just be an idiot. Female! It's a female. Wife of Jung-soo. Okay, she's the mom. She's a mother-in-law to the pale bride. Okay. Alrighty. So, mother-in-law. Recently, the pale bride's temperament has improved immensely. It isn't simply that she's now quiet, it's that she's actually respectful and calmer. After rescheduling, she had an interview with the Emperor, and he was actually quite charmed with her. I'm so happy, for her own sake, that she's finally stopped resisting the marriage. It's all coming together now. A date has been set for when she'll be sent to live with him, and in the meanwhile, things at home have been peaceful again for everyone. Actually, it's better than just that. I've been spending more time with her, of her own free will. I've been giving her advice for coping with marriage, and now the girl actually listens politely. Otherwise, there is little else to write about. I wish there had been a better way to get her to behave, but in the end, it seems to be working out. I still can't imagine how awful it would be if she refused to ever leave the home and simply made life hell for us, or worse, if she got sent off and tried to pull any of that on our husband. She'd be sent back for sure. Maybe now, things will finally start to come together for the family. I must admit for a time, I doubted the optimism that Jung-soo expressed in the 319th year. But now... Okay, it seems that he was right all along. What a relief. Let's think here. And then over all that, honestly, she killed all those people because she snapped. There's no good reason. She was basically drove into insanity. Sure, she realized that she wasn't free, she was basically a slave, but all the females were slaves, and yeah, that sucks for her, but she snapped. I'm not saying I wouldn't do the same thing. Oh god, I would definitely kill everybody. I'm just looking around to see what to do. I guess I have to just keep digging. Let's know more about this stuff. Okay, this is the one. Yeah, this is the one where I already showed her this. Do you really think that matters at this time? Please just look at the ones I gave you. Oh, I'm just supposed to keep digging through those specific ones. Okay. Well, yeah, block 7. Okay. Let's look at more of the mother-in-law. Mother. Huh. I don't really know what to say about her, even now. This is the first time I've read what she wrote, and it's just, well, there's more. Here, read them for yourself. Thank you. So helpful. Independent woman. Okay. If you're so worried, why don't you just explain everything to her simply and rationally? Jung-soo asked me. My response was obvious. She's a woman. We're not particularly rational. He said, you know what I mean. I could hardly do it, but coming from a woman, perhaps she will understand that it's all for her own good? Maybe, I said, doubting it. But I tried anyway. She took her time arriving after I summoned her to my room. Can we speak? I asked her, trying to keep my voice calm. She glared, and then snapped, fine. I asked her to sit down, but she refused. Look, I said, trying to speak to her as an equal. I still didn't think my husband was right, but it was worth trying. I've been told that you'd rather be called Hyun-ae. Is that right? She said yes, bitterly, not giving me much to go off of. That's a very pretty name, I said. Thanks, she said, but her voice was still unfriendly. My parents gave it to me, I said, you must miss them very much. She nodded. I don't understand, Hyun-ae. Were you so difficult with them too? No, she said. They were nice. They actually cared about me. They're nothing like you people. I sighed. I care about you, Hyun-ae. You're a part of the family. You're a Kim. Your parents are our ancestors, and I know they think it's very important that we raise you right. If you want to be a bad, unfilial daughter... I really hope I'm saying that word correctly. I could just Google it. I'm gonna Google that shit real quick. I want to know how to pronounce it, because I keep struggling every time. Let's see here. Gonna check. I'll check. Philly, whatever. Okay. So it's basically acting like a child. That's what it means. I I understood that much, but... How do you pronounce it? I just want the pronunciation. Why you gotta be so difficult? Why you gotta be so difficult? I just want to know how to pronounce it. Come on, bro. Okay, philia. Filiality. Philia. Huh, okay. Cool, know how to say that now. So it's filiality. Okay. It's you I'm worried about. Do you think getting a husband is really gonna put up the way you are, even for a second? She kept glaring at me. That's all you keep talking about. Marriage, marriage, marriage. I'm 14. I'm 14 years old. What's wrong with you? Why does everything have to be about some man? Why do I have to marry somebody that you picked? She screamed at me. I remained calm. You're going to be a royal concubine, Hyun-ae. We're not dumping you off on just anyone. There's no better man. I don't know if you were already engaged in the past, but your parents would do the same if they could. It's what's best for you. They would want this. No, they wouldn't, she shrieked. They wanted me to grow up. They wanted me to be an independent woman. That's what Mom and Dad thought was important. I don't want to be a concubine. I don't care about marriage. An independent woman? They wanted you to be a whore? I asked. My patience run as thin as anyone's would be. I didn't believe for a second my husband's ancestors were the monsters she was making them to be, and was sick of this. Get out! I snapped at her. Just get out! That's what independent woman meant? Being a whore? Interesting. Okay. So this is like her diary again. The pale bride picked the worst of all possible days to throw another one of her childish fits, refusing to even get dressed for her interview. And this one was with the Emperor himself! Not even my husband was able to get her to listen. He had to personally apologize himself for not being able to bring her as scheduled, and lied about a sudden illness. You have to do something about her, I said to my husband that evening. She's completely out of control. I know, he said. That is quite clear. He looked so worried. I hugged him and tried to comfort him. Everything would fall apart if something couldn't be done. She threatened to say something stupid and dangerous to the Emperor, and we were both scared that she might. Maybe it's time to consider doing something drastic, I said to him. He nodded. I know, he said. I can only think of one idea. I do not like it. I would rather not. Even hitting her was far worse than I would have wanted. He explained his idea to me, and I agreed that it was terrible, and I didn't like it either. But it would stop her from arguing, stop her from ruining her own life. My husband was, as always, right. There was always one way. There was only one way. Did you have anything to say? No, you didn't have anything to say. Actually, I want to know about this. Did they turn you mute? Is that what they did? Are you showing me that because you want to see more from her? I want to know what they did to you, but I don't know what's the correct answer. I probably don't have to save this, but you know. I've played a lot of dating simulation games. You just gotta save. That's not why. Yeah, I didn't think so. I don't know what to say. She was cruel. So cruel. Now that I've read her perspective, it doesn't change anything. Fine, she actually believed what she was saying. That doesn't make all of it right. I hate her. I don't care if she's long dead. I don't care if I was the one who did it. I still hate her. I hate her, 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 I hate her. Oh, Jesus, you're having a... I don't feel safe being alone with you. I want mute. Oh, jeez. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to work myself up like that. It's just, you don't pity her, do you? A little. I mean, I pity anybody who has to live like that. I pity anyone who has to live like that. What? Don't pity her. Pity me. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe she was like me once. Maybe she wasn't always terrible. Maybe she did just get worn down like I did. But if that excuses what she did to me, well, I don't think it does. I think she had a choice. But if it does, then surely what I did was just as forgivable. If you can forgive her for what she did to me, then you have to forgive me for what I did to them. At least the people I wanted to hurt weren't innocent. At least there's that. Her excuse? What did I ever do to deserve such cruelty? Even if she did believe everything she said. I can't forgive her. I can't pity her. I still hate her. Actually, okay, there's more to... It's not gray. Okay. I want to know what she did. There was one big fight I had with her. The one that changed everything. The one I finally lost. My diary makes it sound really dramatic. I know, I was young at the time, but it really was. Just read it. That's exactly how it went. She didn't have much time to grow up. I feel bad. I'm still scared of her. My last stand. Dear Diary, everything managed to spiral out of control so quickly today. I wasn't planning on it happening this way, but here's the point where I make my stand, I guess. It sounds dramatic, but I won't just let them marry me off to some stranger. I won't let them. Just before dinner yesterday, Mother had told me that I had to go do an interview with some man. The Emperor, I guess, for all I care. The way she put it was, I'd get a chance to see that he's a man you can fall in love with. Or something stupid like that. As if, I said in response. Whoops. Nope. What? Fuck me. Okay, I said in response, and I spent the rest of the evening thinking about what I could possibly do to make it clear that I wouldn't let them do this. This morning, after breakfast, sister-in-law showed up in my room. Good morning, she said. Today's a big day for you, isn't it? Mother-in-law wanted me to help you get dressed and all made up. You'll want to look good for your first impression, after all. I glared at her and summoned up all my courage. No, I said. What? She asked. No, I'm not going. She left and Mother came in. Herself came in. This was it, I told myself. This was the big moment. I'm not going, I said before she could say anything. I'm not going to get dressed up. I'm not going to meet him, and I am definitely not going to get married, I shouted. For a moment, she said nothing and didn't move. Then she left, too, without saying a word. I thought that would feel good, but it didn't. It just made me worry more. I couldn't have possibly won that easily, I thought. And I hadn't, of course. After a few minutes, she returned with father, who looked incredibly angry. Min Jung says okay. Min Jung says you're refusing to get ready for your interview, he said. Yeah, I stammered, not used to talking to him. I won't go, and I won't get married. He walked over in just 2 strides, then glared at me for a second. I had no idea what he was going to do. Then he slapped me in the face, so hard that it knocked me over. Yes, you will, he said. I'll drag you there kicking and screaming if I have to. My face in so much pain, I forced myself to sit back up. I won't, I said, bracing myself for if he hit me again. He did. Yes, you will, he said. I couldn't keep this up. It already hurt so much. I couldn't just brave that out. Then it came to me. If you make me do the interview, I said, I'll tell the Emperor that you've been conspiring behind his back. It was all I could think of, and all I could do was cross my fingers and hope that the threat worked. It had to. He glared at me, and in that moment I knew. It worked. The two of them looked at each other, and then they both left together. It was 3 hours ago. Oh, that was 3 hours ago. I don't know what's going to happen now, and I think my face is swollen. It still hurts. But I didn't want it to go away. But I didn't want it to go that way. Meh. So that's me, making my stand. Was there anything else? No. Okay. Show this. I'll get to that, but for now, please just look at everything else first. What do you mean? Oh, just keep looking? Okay, I showed this one to her. Should I show her a different one? No, that's great too. Okay, I guess the sister-in-law. You know, I never did like her. When I woke up, she was just this awful person who kept saying the most awful things. Never as bad as Mother, but still. I didn't read any of her letters when I was alive, of course. But, you know what really surprised me? She made such an awful impression on my life. I hated her the most for so long. And she barely even ever mentioned me. All my suffering, it was just a minor distraction to her. Nothing more, insignificant compared to her man. That was kind of weird, like, I sigh. There's one more from her that you should read. I don't know how to feel about it. I don't know how to feel about her. There's just one thing that I kept thinking, though. Just one thing. I have no idea what her name was. You didn't even know her name? Shit. Is she not on record? I guess not. That would have been said then. That wouldn't have been said if her name was up. Alrighty. Dearest Mother, today the pale bride finally left home to live with her new husband. As she isn't the primary wife, there was no fanfare ceremony for her departure itself, so instead last night we had a special big feast to commemorate. I know I've said bad things about her before, but it's not just that I was happy to see her gone. She's even better since Mother and Father-in-law managed to get her to keep quiet. The thought of it still leaves me really uncomfortable. She was always just a confused child. I hate the fact that a family considers her so important and neglects my husband. And I certainly hate her for not appreciating the status and fighting it. But the fact that she doesn't understand the world, I can feel for that. It's not like I always understand myself. Regardless, it went very well. The big feast was my idea, and she was happy to help with the cooking. Earlier, she had spent the afternoon getting ready the dress she was going to wear when she arrived, with mother-in-law, and she seemed rather anxious about it. While we cooked, I opened the wine early and poured it for her. I think she needed it. I told her the same story I told you a while ago, about how scared I was when I first moved in. It seems as though it was a lifetime ago, and yet despite all the strangeness, I have grown so accustomed to it. You'll eventually grow to love him, I promised her, just as you promised me all those years ago. Appreciate how good you'll have it. Yeah. You've read almost everything now. I know you've had faith in me, and I promise it hasn't been misplaced. There's just one more thing. Your face is getting me so anxious. I don't think you'll be surprised. You seem smart. I'm sure you've already guessed what it is. They cut out your voice box or something? I feel like it's something to that effect. Still, go ahead. Ask it. Ask me the obvious question. And I will in the next chapter. I'm gonna end this chapter here, and we're gonna ask her the most obvious question. What did they do to her? At least that's what I think is the obvious question. I could be completely wrong about that. Till next time. Bye, friends.